system.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the next edition of the Losers Lounge podcast. I am your host, Christian freaking Maracle, and this is episode number 64. 64. And this week, I'll be honest, folks, initially there was not going to be an episode this week. However, with what that went down with the WWE Draft over the weekend, there's quite a bit to talk about. And joining me to talk about these things, first of all, please welcome Optimistic Hall of Famer, the Double R, Reister Ryan.
What is up, everyone? Thank you, Christian. Once again, I hope everybody's doing good. It's good to be back for another episode of the Losers Lounge podcast, talking about the WWE Draft. I'm super excited. Of course, WWE Draft is always one of my favorite times of the year. So, anyway, yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. Hope you guys are doing well, staying safe out there and everything. Love you guys very much. So, hope you guys are doing good.
Yep, and also please welcome introducing two-time Losers Lounge Member of the Year and Optimistic Hall of Famer, the Heelist of Ballers.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The Heelist of Ballers is once again back for another episode of the Losers Lounge podcast. It's great to be here, and I can't wait to talk about the draft. It's going to be interesting.
Wait a minute. You're Prince Balor and Sin Balor, and we all know the freaking rest?
Oh, shoot. The Heelist of Balor, Sin Balor, Prince Balor. You should know the freaking rest. My bad, guys. I'm looking at Twitter on my phone right now. So, anyways, here's my time and history on this episode and podcast. I just forgot my own catchphrase. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, well, it's okay. This stuff happens. But what I also want to bring up, of course, I got some breaking news, folks. Breaking news. Speaking of drafts, the Losers Lounge has been drafted to YouTube.
Oh, heck yeah.
Where's our YouTube shirts?
Yeah.
Exactly. Buy our merch.
We don't have merch, but not yet. Not yet. However, I've actually been thinking about that a lot more, and we have a kick-ass logo, so I gotta put that on something.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, who's ready to talk about the results of the 2020 WWE Draft?
Your boy is, obviously.
I am.
Excellent. Now, as we all knew, this is the same way that they've done the draft since 2016, where they had Stephanie McMahon announce the draft picks. Of course, Shane did as well in 2016. And I'll be perfectly honest, I initially was confused by a lot of the picks here because, they were already on the same brand. But then I thought I'd looked at it in a different way. And then I realized, oh, okay, I see it. Everybody is free agents for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay, I just did not look at it before. What I thought it was funny last year when you saw the offices of the USA and Fox networks just cheering for whoever they got.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember that.
That was entertaining.
Do you even know these guys? I'm just do you even know these guys?
Exactly.
They probably don't, but hey, it worked out for them.
Yep.
Now, of course, due to the length of the shows, for every 2 picks SmackDown gets, Raw gets 3, of course, because SmackDown's 2 hours and Raw's 3 hours. Before I didn't understand why they did that, but I think I now realized it. Tag team stables count as 1 pick, unless Fox or USA, in conjunction with WWE, wants to specifically pick 1 wrestler from the group. And folks, by the way, I also want to take this moment and say, unlike most Losers Lounge podcasts, there are no timestamp skip-ins in this episode because the subject is not going to change throughout this entire episode.
Exactly.
We're all here to just talk about the draft and what went down. But I hope you enjoy us and keep listening to this wonderful show anyway. So here's how things are going to work. I'm going to go through each draft pick and talk with the losers and think about what they thought about this. So here we go. Round 1 of night 1. This was announced, of course, by Stephanie McMahon. First off, the first ever pick was Drew McIntyre, drafted from Raw to Raw. Followed by Roman Reigns, drafted from SmackDown to SmackDown. Followed by Asuka, drafted from Raw to Raw. Followed by The Hurt Business, drafted from Raw to Raw. And finally, Seth Rollins, drafted from Raw to SmackDown. Okay, we finally have one new pick here.
Yeah.
That took a little bit. It's all good, though. And I'm going to actually go through, first off, Heel Balor, what was your thoughts on the results of round one, and what was the one that surprised you the most? I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, honest. I mean, some of these really didn't surprise me. Drew, Asuka, they didn't surprise me. Hurt Business, but Seth Rollins, man, that was a big shock there. Like that, I did not expect that. Seth's done everything on Raw, and he needed a change of scenery. I think he's gonna do well on SmackDown. But the rest of them, like Asuka, obviously she's champ. She ain't going anywhere. Hurt Business, I'm not really surprised by that either. They need to remain on Raw since you actually have another stable on there, which we're going to talk about later. That's on there they're feuding with. But I think, and then obviously Drew McIntyre, he's the WWE champion. So you're not going to move the WWE champion back to SmackDown for no reason. It wouldn't make any sense in my opinion. So that's my whole thoughts on it.
Well,
good choices though.
Well, given on some of the choices that were made on this draft, there was quite a number that were done for no reason, but we'll get to that in a moment. But I would also want to quickly say, honestly, I don't think I would have minded if Drew and Roman swapped places and the world titles were back on their original shows when the 2016 draft took place. The only problem, of course, would be we would have to see the red Universal title again.
Nobody wants that back, so I prefer the blue.
Yeah, it looks better as blue. I'll be honest, when I saw the edited versions maybe by fans, I'm like, that's ugly. But when I saw the actual version, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah.
So, Rice to Ryan, what was your thoughts on the results of round one?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, wasn't really a whole lot of surprise, man. Obviously, I pretty much kind of predicted that Drew and Rowan would stay on their brands. Of course, Asuka staying on Raw. Then, the Hurt Business, I actually predicted the Hurt Business to go to SmackDown, but I think they're pretty much one of the best things going on Raw, so I think that's a good fit for them. So I'm excited for the Hurt Business. I think they'll do very well on Monday Night Raw. They've been doing very good. And Seth Rollins going to SmackDown, I was super excited. Of course, like Willie said, Seth Rollins has been a Raw guy all of his life. I mean, he's done everything on Raw. Of course, now he is the Friday Night Messiah, which kind of has a weird tone to it, but I guess eventually it'll catch on. But yeah, I mean, it just doesn't have the same, Monday Night Messiah has a lot better, catch.
Yeah.
But, Friday Night Messiah is kind of a little different. But anyway, I'm super excited. I think Seth Rollins is going to do amazing on SmackDown. I'm very happy. So, Seth Rollins was probably my favorite pick for the first round. Not really so much being a surprise, but I'm excited that he's finally getting a switch, a fresh start. So that's, I'm happy for that.
Of course, think of it as though, actually, I think Seth Rollins' new nickname is actually the SmackDown Savior.
Yeah.
I think that's what he quoted himself as.
That'll be good.
As for me, after realizing, of course, everybody's free agents or whatnot, that's the reason why I didn't understand a lot of the draft picks, saying y'all are just wasting picks here by picking people who's already on your team. Then, of course, I realized this is not like the old days. Who misses the draft lottery days?
I missed that a lot.
But Seth Rollins going over to SmackDown, my opinion, after all the years of being on Raw, because, Seth, aside, the only times he ever appeared on SmackDown was during, that wild card bullshit in 2019, I think.
Yeah.
However, he was never officially a SmackDown wrestler since the 2016 draft. And now things have changed. We finally have a change of scenery for Rollins. And he's back on the same brand as Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But they're both bad guys here, so I don't see them either teaming or feuding anytime soon, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they just kind of need to give him some space. Probably eventually, maybe down the line we might see that, but for now, no.
Yeah, we don't see that for a while.
Yeah, well, okay. Round two, folks. What happens in round two? Kicks off with a banger here, because listen to this, folks. AJ Styles drafted from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. Wow. Pretty cool.
That was a pretty shocking one. I mean, he didn't really
Yeah.
stay on SmackDown for that long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have thought he would have stayed.
Guys, well,
I
ain't
was a lot.
SmackDown the house that he built?
No, that's the house that The Rock built.
Exactly. Sasha Banks drafted from SmackDown to SmackDown. Naomi drafted from SmackDown to Raw. Oh, okay.
I almost forgot that she was employed, not to be rude or anything, but I don't know. She's out with injury, or she's out because she had surgery, which are the best, but that's pretty cool. Now start the hashtag out there, ladies and gentlemen. They all love to do.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, how could you forget that she's employed if the whole hashtag Naomi deserves better thing is around?
Yeah.
All right. Bianca Belair drafted from Raw to SmackDown after the hype-up video saying she was going to show up on Raw. But, hey, I'll be honest, I like this. I like that choice.
Yeah.
And, of course, finally,
Good.
the Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, drafted from Raw to Raw. And thus, Nia Jax continues her streak of always being a Raw wrestler.
That's probably a good thing for the SmackDown crew.
But here's the thing, like, Nia Jax, the only time she ever appeared on SmackDown was to defend the Women's Tag Team titles in the rematch with Sasha and Bayley on the night that Bayley turned on Sasha. That's the only time Nia ever had a SmackDown match.
Yep.
Crazy.
Other than that, it was like basically an invasion for Survivor Series. Like,
Oh, yeah.
she's not too wrong, but other than that,
Yeah, but she
Yeah.
never competed in a match
been Raw.
until then. But as a result of this, I want to talk about, Balor, what was your thoughts on, like, the new picks, AJ, Naomi, and Bianca?
I'm kind of surprised AJ went back to Raw. I mean, he didn't stay on SmackDown for that long. I mean, he won the IC title, and that was it. That's
No. Sami Zayn was always champion.
Where's Sami Zayn? Sami Zayn was always the
they all
champion.
three won it. Okay? They all shared it.
Yeah, God. Like, you people need to stop already.
It's all-
Just share the belt.
Yeah, it's all
Just
set.
freaking do what Layla and Michelle McCool did back in the day. Just literally split the title in half. God.
Well, there was three of them, so 3 pieces.
So I guess they cut them all. Just cut
it all in half. Yeah. But yeah, anyways, AJ back on the Raw. Apparently, from what people told me or whatever, the reason AJ is going back to Raw has something to do with Paul Heyman, because AJ was this goes back to like Paul Heyman's time on Raw as like the producer or whatever the heck he was, the writer or whatever. That AJ's pissed because Gallows and Anderson got fired, and that Heyman didn't stop them from getting fired. It's a mess, whatever.
I personally don't believe that rumor.
Neither do I. I find that stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's the one that people are throwing around. That's the reason AJ, is going back to Raw, is to get away from Paul Heyman. I mean, it is. It's like, don't believe everything you read on the internet, guys. It's not healthy. Anyways, but yeah, AJ back on Raw. It's pretty cool. I hope he gets back in the title picture, even though to be honest, he really doesn't need a title right now. I mean, he's AJ Styles.
Yeah.
People are complaining that he's been buried because he lost.
He's not
AJ
buried.
Styles is the type of guy that could never be buried, no matter. Even The Undertaker literally buried him, and he's still fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it's AJ Styles, man. He's unburiable. Come on, man.
Yeah, after everything he's been through, there's no. And think about this. He's not like, it's not like he had to run like Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, don't get me started.
Yeah, I'm
on
like,
shit.
that's the
Don't
difference
get
between AJ and Shinsuke here. I'm like, hey, Shinsuke, so you could say he's close to being buried, but AJ, no.
Yeah.
As far as like world title goes.
Oh yeah.
I
Nah.
think Nakamura's okay, but yeah, he does deserve a lot better.
Yeah.
Oh, he does. But yeah, the other picks, Bianca. I don't really know about that one. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Bianca Belair. I mean, I get the hype, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't get the appeal of her. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm saying she's a bad wrestler. I just don't get the hype. That's just me.
Wow.
But I hope good things on SmackDown.
Based on what happened with the draft, SmackDown definitely needs a good one, and they got a good female wrestler, so here we go.
They do, because SmackDown lost their women.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll continue going about that throughout, but what'd you think
What's up?
what'd you think of Naomi to Raw?
It was
Do you think this raises questions about Jimmy Uso?
I think so, maybe. I mean, WWE apparently wants to keep the couples together, so that's understandable. So I guess it makes sense for her to go back to SmackDown, even though she can't do anything right now. But keep that hashtag out there going, ladies and gentlemen. She'll do something right. A hashtag is not going to do anything.
Yeah.
That's like me going there, right? That's like me going out there and saying hashtag Finn Balor deserves better. Oh wait, I did that and it actually happened.
Well, hey, look at him now. He's NXT champion. So
he's NXT champion, laying in a hospital bed. Oops.
Yeah, he's champion with a broken jaw, and he's out for 6 weeks. Yay!
Well,
he deserves better.
Well, at least he'll be back in time for NXT Takeover.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Get better soon, Prince. Anyways, who were the other picks?
The other picks were Sasha staying on SmackDown and the tag team champs Nia and Shayna staying on Raw.
Not surprised about Sasha. I mean, she's feuding with Bayley, leading into Hell in a Cell. Which, by the way, I'm hoping that cell match is good.
Yeah, next week we'll talk and predict the events of Hell in a Cell, and we have a lot to talk about there.
Oh boy, do we! Stay tuned to that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, the tag team titles and the tag team champions. First of all, who cares about the women's tag team titles if there's no division?
Yeah,
we've been saying for months and months and months, like there's no division. You need to create a structured division. There's not that much women because Raw took all the women. So almost all the women, but good job there, WWE. But I feel so bad for Shayna. It's I get it. Hey, it's something for her to do. But this I think I said this months ago, or weeks ago actually, that this tag team stuff with Nia and Shayna just give me Team Hell No vibes, and not in a good way, But the tag title is just props. Nia and Shayna are just there. Is what it is. But that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, Double R Racer Ryan, what's your thoughts on the new picks? AJ to Raw, Naomi to Raw, Bianca to SmackDown.
I thought they were a little surprising to me. I kind of wish AJ would have stayed on SmackDown, but I'm excited. He's going back to Raw. We'll see what happens there. Bianca Belair going to SmackDown. I think it's a good addition for the SmackDown Women's Division, and of course we'll get into other stuff later. Naomi to Raw. I think it will turn out pretty good. We'll just kind of have to see. Not really huge surprises to me, but I think it is hopefully the best I can say is that they'll be great additions and hopefully they'll be used properly. So I'm excited for them.
And of course, Sasha and Nia Jax and Shayna staying on SmackDown and Raw, respectfully.
Yeah. Because I do believe now, correct me if I'm wrong, because they are the women's tag team champions, they could still switch brands, right?
Oh yeah, of course. It's just once they lose the titles, they're going to be relegated to just Raw.
Okay. And and here's another thing, and I kind of said this in my predictions video, but of course the draft's always my favorite time of the year, but will WWE stick to the superstars being on their brands, or are they going to make them be able to make them switch brands, have some wild card rule effect or something? That's kind of my whole thing.
Well, the one thing I'm glad for is what they introduced this year was a brand invitational, which meant that's not a weekly thing. Heck, I think it was once a month or something, and only one or two wrestlers could do it.
Yeah.
And they actually they didn't really execute that much at all, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I'm just kind of hoping they don't really kind of do anything like have another wild card rule effect.
In 2019, it got to the point where we no longer knew who was on what brand, huh?
Yeah, it was so bad.
Exactly. That's something they don't need to do anymore because it makes it confusing to the viewers and to the wrestlers themselves.
Yeah.
And it makes the draft not even fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
the
glad
one thing, I don't know if we can talk about this now or we should wait until later, but the one thing that kind of pissed me off at this year's draft is that NXT wasn't involved.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping they would.
Actually, I look on the list, in a way they actually were, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, round 3, folks. Here we go. Ricochet drafted from Raw to Raw. Jey Uso drafted from SmackDown to SmackDown. I think Jimmy wasn't at it because he's injured. Although that's why
Yeah.
that's why I have this odd feeling about Jimmy going to Raw because Naomi's on Raw while Jay stays on SmackDown. I don't know, but then again, Jimmy is injured and he's not set to be back for another few months actually, so we can just wait on that.
Yeah.
Mandy Rose drafted from Raw to Raw after the whole thing with The Miz. Speaking of which, I want to talk about that in a moment. But also, Rey and Dominic Mysterio drafted from Raw to SmackDown.
Oh Lord.
And that one
Here we go.
That was another one that actually caught me off guard. And this one also did. The Miz and Morrison drafted from SmackDown to Raw. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Just like in 2010, what was it? Yeah, it was 2010. John Morrison goes from Friday Night Delight to the Monday Night Delight.
Yep.
And just like 2010, and now in 2020, he goes from Friday Night Delight to Monday Night Delight.
Mm-hmm.
Miz, he's always been the most must-see wrestler of all time. That's just a fact. But anyway, let's take a look here. First, I'll start off with Ryan. Your thoughts on the Mysterios going to SmackDown and Miz and Morrison going to Raw?
Oh boy, I predicted the Mysterios would go to SmackDown, and we probably are gonna see this feud continue with Seth Rollins and probably Buddy Murphy, but who knows? But I guess it's I like it because I always like Rey Mysterio being on SmackDown. I feel like he's always been a SmackDown guy, so it's a cool pick. I'm excited for Dominic too. John Morrison and The Miz to Raw, I think that's also good as well. I'm glad they didn't break them up. I kind of had that bad feeling that they were going to kind of split those two up. But I'm glad that they didn't because, WWE still needs tag teams. And so they need to find any way possible to keep the tag team division going strong. So I think it's a good move. So,
well, as far as I'm concerned, we still got like 12 tag teams alive. So I actually thought to think to myself, maybe people are just not looking at it right. Maybe they're just not counting these guys. Because in my personal opinion, I count the Hurt Business and Retribution because they have multiple members, and those multiple members could go for tag team gold. Just because they're not doing it doesn't mean they won't.
Exactly.
Hell, Bobby Lashley's got the U.S. title. The Hurt Business has the U.S. title now.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Anyways, Ryan, go ahead.
That was about really, honestly, everything I had to say. So, yeah.
As for Ricochet and Mandy staying on Raw and Jay on SmackDown, what's your thoughts on them remaining on their brands?
I guess it's I probably I guess it's okay. I mean, I would have probably honestly, if you ask me, I think Ricochet probably could have used a switch or something, but or even going back to NXT would have been cool for him. As I feel like he's just been kind of lost in the shuffle. So I mean, but hopefully they do something with Ricochet. But Mandy Rose, it looks like her and Dana Brooke are a tag team now, which is cool. I mean, WWE needs some women's tag teams, and of course Jey Uso being on SmackDown still, which is cool. Obviously I think we pretty much saw that coming because he's still feuding with Roman Reigns. So
yeah. Here's the thing. I hope this doesn't sound sexist on my part, and if it does, I personally apologize. But maybe the reason why WWE does not have a lot of women's tag teams is because women don't work well together.
Careful with those words there, Chris. You're going to wind up the IWC. And no, I actually don't find that sexist. That's just me. You hit the nail right there on the head there.
Yeah, a lot of women just don't do well together.
Yeah, not to sound rude whatsoever. But, yeah, just saying.
Although, I'll be perfectly honest, when the women's tag team titles were first created, they had enough to fill an elimination chamber, so they actually did start off promising, right?
Yeah, and being there live in person, it was a really good match, and I thought, okay, I think they'll actually do pretty well, but then, kind of afterwards, a little bit, it just kind of almost...
Hell, they had a four-way. They had a four-way at WrestleMania for the titles, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Surprise win from the Iconics, but
they're split up. So,
which is a shame. They
Yeah,
even
that's-
split up the women's teams and whatnot. Anyways, Heel Balor, your thoughts on the new picks: the Mysterios to SmackDown and Miz and Morrison to Raw.
Not surprised by Miz and Morrison, to be honest. I guess they needed new scenery, but the Mysterios, I kind of figured they were going to. At first, like, my stream stopped because I didn't have cable at last week when I watched Smackdown, but my cable stopped, or my stream stopped. And it's like, it says Dominic Mysterio going to SmackDown. I'm like, okay, Dominic's going to SmackDown. It's like, no, Rey Mysterio's going to them too. I'm like, oh no. Like, here we go. I do hope they don't freaking go back with that rivalry with Seth. I mean, Seth has like two storylines with him. He has Murphy, and he has spoilers. He has Murphy, and he has the Mysterios. So there's that. I'm really surprised by those. But to be honest with you, Seth just needs to be a loner right now. Let him do his own thing.
Actually, if you think about it, Seth is actually helping put Dominic over and put Murphy over at the same time.
I haven't really put Dominic over enough. Like I can't believe I'm about to say this. I'm kind of getting tired of Dominic. That's something you don't want to hear from the fans. Like,
I think actually, in my personal opinion, I really think Dominic should have stayed with that team with Humberto Carrillo.
Yeah, Humberto Carrillo. Nobody cares about that guy. No disrespect whatsoever. Nobody cares about that guy. Like, send him to NXT and be a part of the whatever the heck the cruiserweight chant, whatever that stuff in the cruiserweight division is. You know, that's stable.
Anyways,
yeah, there's really nothing I can say about that.
And of course, your thoughts on Mandy and Ricochet staying on Raw, Jay staying on SmackDown.
Ricochet's a broken mess. Don't care. And Mandy Rose, I kind of saw that coming. With the old teasers about her going somewhere, with all that. So I'm not surprised. She'll probably be women's champ by the end of the year. So it is what it is. I like Mandy Rose, so I'm happy for her.
And of course, Jay still on SmackDown because of the feud with Roman.
Yeah, the whole thing with Roman, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, is the best thing going on TV.
Yes, it is.
Well, Randy Orton.
All right. As for me, I want to quickly also say the Mysterios going to SmackDown. That one actually was impressive, honestly, and I'm honestly hoping that if they're done with the whole Seth Rollins situation, I think it'd be great if Rey and Dominic actually just tag team for a while, go for SmackDown tag team gold, because if SmackDown definitely needs more tag teams, then hey, there's one right there. There's this guy. Okay, there's this one. Okay, there's this one. Use what you got, and if you don't have enough teams, make one. Make more. But the other big problem, of course, being the fans, they see two random people together, they don't like it. So, that's why it's hard to tell what people want, which is a shame. But I also want to bring up something as well. Miz and Morrison going to Raw. I want to say, at first I was like, oh, God, like, I feel bad, I feel bad for Otis. No, Mandy Rose. And we'll get to Tucker a little while later. But I also want to say that I think this is why The Miz coincidentally postponed his court date with Otis.
Mm-hmm.
To get away from him because of the draft. He delayed thing just so he could go to Raw and get away from him. Make Otis's life a living hell. And speaking of Otis, he was in round 4 because, folks, take a look at this. On round 4, Angel Garza drafted from Raw to Raw. Otis drafted from SmackDown to SmackDown. Dana Brooke remaining on Raw as well. Big E remaining on Raw. And this is the big shocker. Kofi and Xavier Woods, at the time, the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, drafted to Raw. As a result, Big E no longer with the New Day.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, I was confused at why they picked the SmackDown Tag Team Champions to go to Raw.
Same.
I was like, wait, what? Wait, well, hold up a sec. Hold on. If you wanted to split Big E away from them, then why not just put Big E on Raw and have the SmackDown Tag Champs stay on SmackDown?
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
I didn't really get that.
It doesn't make sense. However, seems like Kofi and Woods are the only new ones in round 4 that moved to a new brand. The rest, Big E, Dana Brooke, Otis, and Angel Garza stayed on their respective brands. However, I'm going to ask Willie, what was your thoughts on Kofi and Woods as the SmackDown Tag Team champs going to Raw?
my jaw dropped. I'm like, wow, okay. Like, I did not like when Woods kept saying, "Say E's name." You forgot E's name. I'm like, wait a minute, like what's going on here? And Stephanie's like, "Big E staying on SmackDown." I'm like, what? Excuse me? So I was shocked. I don't know, man. I can't, for some reason, I don't know why, but I kind of saw something like this coming. Don't get me wrong, I love New Day. I freaking love New Day, but I think big things are in store for my man Big E. I think they want to keep him on SmackDown for the singles run. Xavier and Kofi, Kofi's already had his time in the spotlight, and Xavier, I don't know. I think they fit better in the tag team division with them. They look as E as the big star. That's what I think they're doing. There's really no shock about that one, to be honest with you. I'm happy, but saying I'm a little upset about that. I love New Day, but not everything lasts forever. I mean, sooner or later this is going to happen. So they're going to break up. No tag team or stable lasts forever. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm not that upset, but just a little bit upset at the same time. I think there's big things in store for all these guys. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and as a result, of course, the New Day are having a 6-man tag team match this upcoming Friday on SmackDown. At the time of release, today. As they're teaming up to face Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Sheamus, or could we call it Shinsuke and the Bar?
Yeah.
However, of course, Sheamus moved to Raw, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So obviously no Bar reunion ever happening.
Nope.
However, Ryan, your thoughts on Kofi and Woods being moved to Raw as the SmackDown Tag Champs?
That was a big shocker. That was probably the biggest shocker of the night. Like you said, Christian. Yeah, they won the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Then they got dropped to Raw. I'm like, okay, what that's gonna happen is at that point, I'm like, okay, it's obvious the Street Profits are gonna go to SmackDown now. And then I was kind of thinking, okay, what are they going to do? Are they going to unify the tag titles or what are they going to do? But anyway.
Well, we'll talk about that for night 2. However, what'd you think, of course, the Big E staying on SmackDown thing?
I'm excited for it. I really am. Even though, the New Day aren't anymore at the moment, I do believe one day they probably will, of course, be back together. I definitely see that happening. But I'm excited because I think it is time for Big E to get another singles run. I do think that probably they have some big plans in store for Big E, and I'm excited for that. So hopefully, whether that's being the Intercontinental Champion or Universal Champion, I'm excited. So we'll see where it happens. Kofi and Xavier, I think, will still obviously be good, in their respective spots. Of course, like Willie said, Kofi's already had his time. And Xavier, I don't know, maybe one day we might see him get a big singles run. I don't know if that'll happen or not. But yeah, I think, Big E's kind of the main star. And, I think it's just kind of time that the New Day had split it up. For 6 years, that's a really, really long time. That's a really good time, too. So, and I don't know if any other, factions ever stayed together that long. I may be wrong, but that's a long time. So, I'm kind of sad, but I'm excited at the same time too.
The one thing I'm actually thinking about is unless somebody turns heel on SmackDown in this 6-man tag team match, I'm actually thinking that the New Day as a faction will still be alive. It's just they're not going to be with Big E for now. I mean, I think Big E will probably have his own music and whatnot, but I think the spirit of New Day will still be alive.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Because as we know, Kofi and Woods are, now Raw Tag Champs. We'll get to that later. But as far as we're concerned, New Day is still a thing because, Kofi and Woods are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, as for me, I was confused and a little depressed. The whole thing about the SmackDown Tag Team Champs going to Raw. And I would say depressed because it didn't make any sense. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not a big fan of the unification thing because I like things colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that to put a balance in the rosters here and having tag team champs going from both shows would not exactly balance things. It wouldn't exactly help out the tag team division thing either, no matter how much people are saying it, because with all the splits that have been happening, you may not even have enough teams for one. But the fact of the matter is, people are just not seeing the bigger picture. They're just ignoring the fact that factions also... Here's the thing. Factions also count as teams. Otherwise, how the hell does New Day count?
Yeah.
Factions count as teams. It's not the first time we've seen them go for titles. It ain't going to be the last either. But this whole thing with Retribution, the Hurt Business, and whatnot, they got several members who could definitely be eligible for tag teams. Think about that. We have Miz and Morrison. We got Rey and Dominic Mysterio. We got more teams alive than dead. Y'all are just not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that'll cover it for night one. But I'll take a moment and talk about the quick picks in the supplemental draft that took place. While we had the two ones that remained on their specific brands. Humberto Carrillo was remaining on Raw. In other words, he's no longer going to team with Dominic Mysterio. In my opinion, I saw potential in that, honestly. But, oh well. And Kalisto remaining on SmackDown. So there's that. As for the new picks, Murphy drafted from Raw to SmackDown, thus completing the whole picks of the Rollins-Mysterio feud. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And Drew Gulak moved from SmackDown to Raw. And this is the one that made me even more depressed. Tucker moved from SmackDown to Raw, leaving Otis on SmackDown alone. So I want to talk about Willie. What was your thoughts on the new picks that moved?
Oh my gosh. I think I'll start the big one, Otis and Tucker. First of all, let's get the big question. Let's get the big thing out of the way. Otis, the only reason he's staying on SmackDown, in my opinion, is because I don't know. I really don't know. Is there really a reason? I
know. I think I know. I figured it out. I think Heavy Machinery is not broke up at all. I think they're still a team because this past Monday on Raw, The Miz hinted he had something to do with this.
Yeah.
He said he has connections with USA Network, and he pretty much revealed that he made them keep Mandy on Raw, convince Fox to keep Otis, and he intentionally convinced the USA Network to take Tucker to Raw. So if you think about it, he's intentionally doing this to make Otis's life a living hell, just so he can get that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the way I'm thinking about it, Otis, this is going to lead to Otis having the choice. You can have Tucker back to SmackDown if you give me the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Exactly.
He's going to have to choose. Now that I think about it, Heavy Machinery is still alive, but this all depends on Otis's big choice. If he chooses the contract over Tucker, that'll definitely cause the split.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And Tucker's going to be like, why would you do this?
Exactly. Why would you choose the briefcase over your best friend and tag team partner? That's a bit selfish, in my opinion.
And think about what Mandy Rose said on Miz TV. She was also pissed off about the whole thing as well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her either. So that's why I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking, for all who are just going ahead blaming WWE immediately for the breakup of Heavy Machinery, I'm like, y'all are not looking at the storyline here. I think there's more to it than meets the eye. But y'all are not paying attention to it because y'all are a bunch of idiots.
Exactly. These people don't know what they're looking at. They're only looking at what they see on their phones and all that stuff. They're blaming the dirt sheets. They're too quick to blaming the E for literally everything. It doesn't make any sense.
Seriously.
Let the story play out, people.
Seriously. Makes no fucking sense.
Come on. Yeah. Wrestling fans, I swear, are the dumbest people out there. Yeah, I said it. Get mad, people. Get mad.
Yeah, get mad. Get mad at us. We're the Losers Lounge Podcast, the fastest rising podcast in the YWC, and we talk the truth. Y'all can't do anything about it.
Nope. Y'all can just sit there and eat it and just enjoy it. Eating it as by eating,
eating. I'm just gonna say that's Grimm's thing, not ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let Grimm do it. Let Grimm do the eating here. We don't want to be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, that's why I'm saying, like, there's more to the heavy machinery storyline that meets the eye, and we're about to find out soon. I'm pretty sure we will. Because they just wouldn't ignore this whole storyline for nothing, especially since Otis and Miz are still owed a court date.
Exactly, which we don't know when the court date's going to be, but, it's coming soon, so the people just need to be patient.
I'm pretty sure of it. Anyways, Ryan, your thoughts... Actually, well, Willie, your thoughts on the other ones. Murphy to SmackDown and Drew Gulak to Raw.
Surprised about Murphy, with the whole thing with Seth Rollins, so I'm not surprised about that. And Drew Gulak, I don't care. I don't care. I like him. I don't care.
Okay, that's fair enough. Ryan, your thoughts on the move of Tucker to Raw?
I thought that was a little interesting. I kind of would have thought they would have still had heavy machinery together, but like you said, I mean, it's still, I think, a whole feud with Otis and Miz still going at it. So, yeah, we'll just kind of see. Who knows? Maybe we might see heavy machinery still together, but I don't know. I guess only time will tell. But, yeah, I still think this is all, like a whole feud with, the Miz and Otis.
Yeah, all right. We're going to move on to night number 2 here, which happened this past Monday night on Raw. And here's how things are going to... First off, sorry if you can hear noises upstairs. People are walking around. But anyways, night number 2, here's how things kicked off. They kicked off with quite a good one. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, drafted from SmackDown to Raw, which I thought was
Big
wow.
shot.
Followed by Bayley, remaining as SmackDown Women's Champion on SmackDown. Randy Orton, remaining on Raw. Charlotte Flair, remaining on Raw. Personally, I thought she was on NXT, but okay. And, of course, we call this one the Street Profits, the Raw Tag Team Champions, drafted to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of this, I was like, okay, now what are they going to do? And I was like, how are they going to fix this situation now? Oh, you guys could just exchange the titles. Oh, I'm like, oh, okay, that fixes it. And a lot of people, I just want to point this out. People call that creative laziness. In my opinion, it's the only thing that made sense out of this situation that didn't make sense. Because, like the whole unification thing, like I said, is stupid. And it's been done so many times already.
It has.
It has. Let's think about this right now. I remember the brand split in the 2000s era. When people wanted the unification of the tag team titles. They got it. Then the brand split started to die down. Then they unified the women's and divas title. And then the brand split eventually just died in general in 2011. What y'all are asking for is the brand split to die again. So fuck off!
Exactly.
They got too many wrestlers to keep on the same damn show every single freaking time. You can't just have the same wrestlers appear on Raw and SmackDown because that's what you're asking for and that's what you're going to get. And then you're going to blame WWE for not showcasing other talent. Well, you should have thought about that before you had to break up the brand split, so fuck you. It's your fault.
Blame the fans, don't blame the system. I mean, there are times where you can blame the system, but for right now, just blame the fans because they're a bunch of idiots.
Bingo. What's his name-o?
Ding, ding, ding.
I thought his name was Mark.
Oh.
That's what these people are.
Oh, right. Oh, man. Anyways, the title exchange thing, in my opinion, was the right choice because, well, it's a simple solution. And this thing required a simple solution. Not a whole... This didn't have to be a big deal. And it wasn't. So, boom. And not to mention, the New Day, Street Profits, they were cool with it.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, when I saw New Day and Street Profits together, I'm like, damn, I wish they were on the same show. They look great as a stable.
Mm-hmm.
They call it the New Profits or something, or the Street Day.
Okay, that's...
I like the New Profits. That sounds pretty cool.
That sounds like some villainous stable. That's so cool.
Street Day, wow. It would, yeah. Just imagine seeing Kofi and Woods dressed up like that as well. By the way, now this reminds me. As we all know, folks, New Day are now Raw Tag Team Champs. Street Profits are now SmackDown Tag Team Champs. The Street Profits are now Triple Crown Tag Team Champs.
Yep.
The second team behind the Revival to have been the NXT, the Raw, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Congratulations. And, speaking of what I was saying, since the Street Profits are on SmackDown, does this mean they're going to get blue solo cups?
Maybe.
It would make sense. It wouldn't make sense to keep the red ones because, well, SmackDown.
Exactly.
Here's what the Street Profits say: we want the smoke. The fans, on the other hand, just want to start fires.
Yep.
Smoke and mirrors. They all want to start fires.
Whoa! You only smoke in mirrors.
Oh, God.
Speaking of the biggest guy who ever started a fire.
Yeah, he started a huge fire, didn't he?
Yeah. Although we could actually just quote that Billy Joel song. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. That's a great song.
It is.
I like
I don't know why, but that song always gets me so hyped.
Yeah.
Same.
That should be a theme song for Survivor Series if it's the Raw SmackDown NXT battle.
That should have been okay, I ain't gonna lie, that should have been the theme song for Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, no, because the only reason they called it Great Balls of Fire was to reference the Jerry Lee Lewis song.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make any sense to have anything else be the Great Balls of Fire theme song other than a song literally titled Great Balls of Fire. The only thing they should have done is made the stage all 1950s themed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only thing from that stage was that they had a car on it. That was really it.
Although the car looked pretty nice. I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
And Ryan, you and Connor Riley were there, so you were like, I like that.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a very good show. I mean, not really a huge fan of the name, but it was a good show nonetheless.
All right, back to round one of the picks. As I mentioned, the big surprise, of course, was the Fiend Bray Wyatt drafted to Raw. And in my opinion, I like the fact that that Fiend's going to be on Raw because remember this whole thing about SmackDown? Didn't Fox not want the Fiend around anyway last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they were convinced either way, but hey, they got their wish. And
I think they had changed their minds, if I'm not mistaken, but
yeah.
Because they said something about people watching other shows, other sports shows on Fox, and then they show a WWE SmackDown commercial and they show the Fiend, and they said viewers got freaked out.
Exactly.
I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, I was like,
oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think some people just kind of had different opinions on it, but I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, the Fiend. The Fiend, in my opinion, its red lights are significant to Raw anyway. So.
Yeah, and plus that's where he started, basically.
Yeah, the Firefly Funhouse was born on Raw, so.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In Raw Monday nights, I was born and raised.
Oh my gosh.
So the Monday nights where I spend most of my days chilling out back in the Firefly Funhouse and I shoot some ass. Okay, I'm not really. That could have been great.
God, now we're got some.
Now we're doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air references on here. Well, folks, there's a first time for everything.
Oh yeah.
Chilling out back in the Firefly Funhouse and I make Hell in a Cell and in a no contest.
Fans pissed off.
I got in one little fight and the ref got scared. He said, "We're going to start this match, this Hell in a Cell match right now."
Exactly.
Oh my God, that actually works. That actually worked. I got in one little fight and the ref got scared. He said, "We're going to start this Hell in a Cell match right there."
Oh my gosh. It's like.
There's a lot more in common with the Fiend and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Chanting AEW, and we want refunds.
Folks, we're singing. Yes, we are.
We're freaking singing.
What a great time on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Breaking
We
news.
should pick.
Breaking news. Heel Balor has been drafted to Canvas Critique.
Oh God.
I'll be perfectly honest. What if that happened? What if Heel Balor got drafted to Josh's podcast?
I would take over the entire thing. I mean, what?
Yeah, but we'd be like, what the hell does this mean for us now?
Exactly. No. Now y'all can survive without me. Don't worry.
Either
I mean,
way, I'll be honest. Aside from the Losers Lounge, in my personal opinion, I think Canvas Critique is the second fastest rising podcast.
Oh yeah, shout out to those two right there, man. Joey and Josh. I mean, they got. I mean, I had a fun time on their podcast.
Oh my God, that reminds me. Heel Balor drafted to Canvas Critique. Joey D's drafted to Losers Lounge.
That'd be a good trade. I'm not gonna lie. Or Josh to Losers Lounge.
Oh
Or
my
Josh
God.
from the Losers Lounge.
But Josh is the leader of.
Exactly,
All right.
Josh.
Okay, we're
No,
getting.
I just thought this. What are you talking about?
And folks, if you think we're getting off topic, we're still technically talking about a draft here.
Exactly.
But
We're drafting YouTubers.
yeah. Okay. I'll also say let's see. Street Profits are now on SmackDown as the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And people ask, so do the reigns continue? The result, nope. They just start over with a new reign.
Yep.
And personally, I don't have a problem with that.
Nah.
So Ryan, what was your thoughts mostly on the Fiend? We'll talk about the Fiend going to Raw. What was your thoughts on that?
I was excited for it. Honestly, I'm happy. Because I predicted that if Seth Rollins goes to SmackDown, then I think Raw's going to get another big name, and I think that's going to be the Fiend. And so I think it only makes sense for the Fiend to go to Raw. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Fiend on SmackDown, but I think it's just better for him to be on Raw because that's where obviously he started, and that's even where he kind of made his debut by attacking Finn Balor on Raw, and so
We don't talk about that. We don't talk
What's
about that. I said we don't talk about that moment.
Why? It made Finn Balor better.
No. That happened at SummerSlam. That's what we talk. We don't talk about the night the Fiend debuted. I'm kidding. Of course we do. So I want to say thank you, Fiend. Because without you, Fiend, my boy would be the NXT champion right now. So thank you, Fiend.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of others, pretty much. Let's say thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it makes a whole lot of sense for the Fiend to.
It's Kevin Owens.
Hey. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, like I was saying. Yeah, the Fiend. I think honestly, it's gonna be his show. So we'll see. And I'm very excited for the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. I think that was absolutely crazy. What they did, Andrade and Selena. That was just absolutely insane. So I don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm definitely excited. So I think there's probably big things in store for the Fiend and Alexa Bliss. So I'm excited. I think it's a good addition for Raw.
Let them in.
All right. And of course, your thoughts on Street Profits, now the SmackDown Tag Team Champs.
Ooh, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. They actually look pretty dope in blue. I'm not gonna lie on that. So maybe we might see more blue attire now, which would actually be pretty cool. So it's cool that I guess they just swapped it, which is honestly a little kind of a bit funny. But we got that whole situation solved out because I was thinking, okay, are they gonna unify the tag titles or what the heck they're gonna do? Yeah. Because it would just be so weird to have the Raw tag titles on SmackDown and the SmackDown tag titles on Raw. It would not make any sense at all. So glad they solved that out. So
yeah. All right. Willie, of course, did I get your thoughts on all this?
You didn't. Thoughts on Street Profits? I'm excited. I'm happy for them. They deserve new scenery. I thought they were going. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were going to unify the titles, but we didn't see that. It's what it is. And as for the Fiend, the Fiend. First of all, we already got Roman Reigns over there on SmackDown as the dominating heel. And I don't care what anybody says. The Fiend is, to me, I guess, still heel. I guess I don't like how the Fiend's being portrayed as like this tweener. It's gross. It's disgusting. The Fiend needs to be a freaking killer. And this whole Beauty and the Beast storyline with Alexa Bliss is just
just strange. I love every second of it. Especially how they debuted on Raw. This was just fun. Oh my gosh! Just Alexa Bliss just appearing in the corner doing the Fiend's pose on the ropes. That was awesome. And the Fiend just appearing right behind Andrade and just putting him out. And so that was pretty cool. So I think Fiend being on Raw is a good thing. There's more ups than downs for the Fiend being on Raw than SmackDown, because you got that feud out there with many other things. You got many feuds on there on the horizon for him. Yeah, hopefully this is the one dream match I hope we get one day, and I hope we get Randy Orton in the Fiend. Could you imagine that, bro? Just imagine.
And think about
Randy
this.
Orton.
There's a lot of new opportunities here, especially since here's my right. There's a feud that I personally would like to see, that of two guys, of the Fiend and someone else who's also been on the same brand as it, and then they got moved to the same brand. I'd like to see the Fiend and AJ.
That'd be cool.
I wonder what the Fiend would do to AJ. How would the Fiend change AJ?
I don't know. AJ's been the same, or unless he has a new character or something, or a new persona.
Yeah. I would love to see the Fiend and Drew McIntyre.
That is possible now, yeah. If Drew McIntyre beats Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell, it could be possible now, because there's now new opportunities here. That's why the other thing I like about the draft, now there's new possibilities.
Yeah, Drew and the Fiend. Oh my gosh, just that has money written all over it. Same with Randy Orton and the Fiend. I think Randy Orton and the Fiend would be a lot more interesting in my opinion, because you got the two probably most dangerous people in the company with the Fiend and Orton. Just the mind games alone. And you can play mind games on Randy Orton, but when you play mind games on the Fiend, like that's the thing, because you got the dangerous Viper out there, hunting people in the skull. And just doing this thing. Then you got Fiend just just choking people out and just changing them. So imagine if we were to beat Randy. Would he change Orton back into Legend Killer? Wait, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Maybe he'll create his new legacy.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Let's go on. Let's go on to round 2. The rest, there's not really much to talk about. Orton stays on Raw. Bayley stays on SmackDown. I'm not surprised there. Charlotte stays on Raw, although I thought she was in NXT, because we haven't seen her in ages, because she's out recovering from surgery.
Yeah, I mean, I got a prediction about Raw next week.
As much as some people would probably disagree with me, based on how the women's division is looking, we need Charlotte Flair.
We do. I hate saying that, but we do need Charlotte Flair. I guess.
Sasha and Bayley are the top ones on SmackDown.
Facts.
So Becky is out with pregnancy, so she ain't gonna be around anytime soon. We need a big hit aside from Asuka, there's not really other big hits on Raw.
There really is. I mean, there really is nobody. So you got Charlotte Flair, you're staying on Raw as like this, placement there. Yeah, here's what it is.
People say that she's a ratings killer. I disagree with that.
She's not a ratings killer. She's just a career killer at this point. She killed Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. I don't care what anybody says. She buried Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley is back in NXT, and it seems like she's re-evolved
into something awesome, which I freaking love. But
so how is she buried? Gotcha.
Don't try and change my mind, Christian.
Oh yeah, I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to freak out and create a rant video about me. Okay,
don't get fired.
All right, who's ready to go to round? Okay, who's ready to go to round 2?
Let's do it.
All right, for round 2, the only draft pick that actually remained on the same show was Daniel Bryan, remaining on SmackDown, and I actually posted on Twitter, and this got some heat for it. I was like, is he still employed?
That's what I saw. Like, I saw that tweet, and I'm like, no morons, he's still employed. He's still employed because he's out. He's out for obvious reasons. He's a daddy now.
Well, I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't know that because, I don't pay attention to that.
Exactly. I'm not talking to you, Christian. I'm talking about the idiots out there who actually, take this stuff seriously.
Yeah. I knew that Daniel was still.
I
I knew that Daniel was still employed. I just made a funny joke about it because we haven't seen him in forever, so that's why I said it.
thought you were serious. Wow. You people need to get a life and get off the internet for once. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Although I like how Stephanie McMahon brought back the whole he's a B+ player thing for a brief second.
Yeah, that's in the past. To be honest, I'm kind of over Bryan.
It's still the truth. It's still the truth. He's still a B+ player.
Well, not as much a B+ player as Johnny Gargano, but
No, actually, Johnny Gargano's an F- player. As CM Punk would have put it in that paper thing.
Exactly. He's an F for failure. But Bryan's not a failure. Bryan's just a good hand at this point. He's there to put people over. He's had his time in the sun, which means he doesn't need any more championships for a while. To all you Bryan fanboys out there,
Yeah, not holding a title doesn't mean you're buried.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the new picks that were on round 2. Braun Strowman drafted from SmackDown to Raw. Kind of saw that coming because of Raw Underground, but hey, welcome to Raw, Strowman.
God.
Matt Riddle drafted to Raw.
Oh boy.
Oh, bro. Kevin Owens drafted to SmackDown.
Yay!
And Jeff Hardy drafted to Raw.
Thank God. He is away from Sami Zayn.
So is AJ Styles.
Thank God, because apparently this on SmackDown, that Sami show. But
hey, Kevin Owens is now on SmackDown, so Kevin and Sami could feud again?
Please, especially
for the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Please give me that.
This is what we asked for in 2016.
Never Monday Night Rollins anyway.
Do you guys agree? This is Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title. That's what we asked for in 2016. And even though they did feud without the title, we asked for the IC title.
We're going to announce that the roles are going to be reversed, kind of. Yeah. It depends on what the Fiend does to. It depends on how much of an effect the Fiend had on Kevin Owens. So
that is true. Although I personally want to see Kevin as a bad guy again because he fits more to the heel character.
Babyface Kevin Owens has just run its course. I don't think the problem with Babyface KO is that there's not a good villain. There was Shane McMahon, a good villain. There was Seth Rollins, a decent villain.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry.
Are you
good? If we're lacking on tag teams on SmackDown, Cammy.
Cammy. Those were the days. We miss Cammy.
Well, it could still happen.
Cammy. Stan.
And here's the thing. As much as I don't want to say this, and this is probably the last thing you would ever hear from my mouth, I personally want the team of Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle to continue.
Oh, there are so many jokes I could make about this, but I'm not going to. But
it's just like if people are complaining about the lack of tag teams, well, Jeff and Matt. Wow.
Like Jeff and Matt, and they're like, "Oh, the Hardy Boys are about to get." It's like, no.
I was like, no,
that's the Hardy Bros.
Yeah, the Hardy Bros.
No, they're gonna take that from us now. We know you're watching. They're gonna take it from us. Give us credit. We know you're watching.
We're the losers, and this is our lounge, and we'll take over if we have to.
Exactly. We took over your freaking company. We took it over your TV screens, and now you give us our royalty checks. Hand them over. We know you're watching.
Hell, maybe here's the thing. I know that they ambushed us, but maybe we might say, "Okay, Retribution, we forgive you. Can we join you so we can get them?"
Apparently, Retribution laid out a challenge for anybody to go out and get them. So here's our little challenge to you, Retribution. You come find us.
Try again. Try and get us again.
Try again. We will knock you down a peg. And we'll send T-Bar and all of his homies packing. Wherever the heck they came from. Try us.
Hell, Retaliation's already sent packing, but we'll get to Retribution in a moment, folks. However, I want to say, if people are saying they're complaining that there's a lack of tag teams, well, Jeff Hardy, Matt Riddle, they team very good. They were pretty good as a team for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, you know what? They're actually not that bad. They should keep going with this because It could work out, and not to mention, hey, if you need more tag teams, here you go. Now stop whining. Here you go. Here's a tag team. Here's a new tag team. We can make it work. If it looks like they don't have much chemistry, we'll make them get chemistry. That's how you build it.
That's how you really do it with tag teams. You can just stick 2 and 2 together. A good example of that is Daniel Bryan and Kane. They had chemistry. They weren't built as a tag team.
Actually, they had no chemistry.
That's right. No chemistry. My bad. No chemistry, but they came together with a good storyline. And there we go. Team Hell No was born. Same thing with, I can't believe I'm saying this. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Big E and Dolph Ziggler. Sure, they never won tag titles, but I actually enjoyed them as tag team.
Hey, Big E debuted at WrestleMania, for God's sake.
Exactly. This shows to show that anybody, well, almost anybody, can be put together and put into a tag team if it doesn't work. Here's what it is. Yeah, here's another good one. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable.
Yeah, they did good. And not to mention, Ziggler and Robert Roode are Rudolph, the Glorious Tag Team.
Rudolph. Yes.
They're back together now.
What do you think, Ryan? What do you think about this?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be interesting. I mean, if they want to do like a random tag team or something like that, I'm perfectly fine with random tag teams or whatnot. Whatever. I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I mean, hey, they did it with Sheamus and Cesaro. Cesaro Nakamura. So I mean, hey, shoot your shot. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, it can work. So
I think it could turn out pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong.
The thing that people mostly have to do is give it time or give it a chance.
Yeah.
That's
not just 1 week or so. Probably not even a month, but like maybe a couple months, maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the problem with the wrestling community. They're not patient. They want something now. And like I said, when they don't get it, they'll cry and moan. They'll blame something. They'll blame the company. They'll blame the wrestler. They won't blame themselves. Like, you guys wanted this, and now you turn on it. It doesn't make any sense.
That is true.
Come on now.
All right. Ryan, I also want to get your thoughts on Strowman to Raw.
I mean, I kind of saw it coming. I don't know about y'all, but like Strowman just looks weird without any hair.
However, I'll be honest. I still like his demeanor now because he's more of a monster.
Yeah.
Where was this Strowman during his run as Universal Champion? Towards the end of it, he became that. But after that, or before that, he was just, he was there. He was that guy.
He was that guy that teamed with that 10-year-old.
I like this change a little bit. Like,
yeah,
I do like his attire a bit.
Oh yeah.
But I kind of get honestly, I kind of get a little bit of a Big Show vibe from him because how Big Show started out with long hair and now Big Show went bald and then Strowman started off with long hair and now he's bald.
That is true.
Except with Braun Strowman, he's not going to have 1,000 heel turns.
And the difference between Strowman and Big Show is Big Show got his head shaved bald by Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Was that a freaking thing?
He got tranquilized.
That was back in 2002?
Yeah, he got tranquilized.
A freaking tranquilizer gun. I actually watched that weeks ago, and I'm like, this actually happened?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? I'm like, who booked this? I'm like, what the heck? We could have killed him if he missed the spot where he aimed at. My God.
Yeah. Or maybe that was just a dart that didn't exactly have anything attached to it.
Freaking 2002 is insane. I think it was a minute. Yeah. Those were good days. We had Time Machine to go back in time.
Good days.
And Ryan, do you think Kevin Owens being moved to SmackDown could benefit him? I was like, Ryan, do you think Kevin Owens going to SmackDown could benefit him?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, I think really honestly, I don't know about you, but I feel like KO's just kind of been a little bit lost in the shuffle. I mean, even with the whole feud with Aleister Black, I mean, that match was pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like they're kind of lost with what to do with Kevin Owens. I like Kevin Owens as a babyface, but he's just a lot better as a heel. And I don't know. Hopefully they kind of find something for him on SmackDown. But I just feel like past couple weeks to months, he's just been a little bit kind of lost. Like I feel like Chris doesn't really kind of know what to do with him.
Yeah, I can understand that.
He's just
All right, let's move on to round 3 because we still got quite a few more rounds left to go, and we're already an hour into the podcast. Round 3 only had one new switch over to the new brand, and that was Alexa Bliss drafted from SmackDown to Raw. But the other ones that remain on their shows, King Corbin remains on SmackDown.
Yay.
Good. He's hot. He's hot. Shut up.
Oh no, he's hot.
Although, likely very popular opinion, he needs to go back to just being Baron Corbin.
He needs to be the lone wolf again.
Yeah, but because think about it, being a king of the ring for over a year, that's when it's starting to stretch. If it's 1 year, fine. Over a year, nope.
Yeah.
Pointless
It's
now.
crazy. It's already been over a year now. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to believe. But yeah, I think they need to drop it at this point.
Let's see. Keith Lee remains on Monday Night Raw. Retribution remains on Raw, even though I'm like, wait, they're actually branded wrestlers now?
Even though they debuted on SmackDown technically in person, but
Yeah.
they make sense. That was
And
weird.
the last one, this is controversial, but we are not going to talk about this. Remaining on SmackDown
Nope.
is Lars Sullivan. We're not talking
No.
about controversy.
No.
We're only going to talk about the fact that
Thank you, Nick.
he's back.
Thank you,
He's
Nick.
back. That's all I gotta say. He's back. Pass. Enough said. Talk about it in the comments below.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the others, though. Retribution, I personally don't like the idea that they are actually branded wrestlers if they're trying to get Retribution on the whole WWE here. Actually, as a matter of
If
fact,
that-
wasn't Mustafa Ali was
Yeah.
supposed to say something on Raw?
That's my thing there,
Yeah.
WWE. This really irked me on Raw. Like, I don't know what maybe they ran out of time. Maybe, I don't know, but they advertised freaking Mustafa Ali on Raw, and they didn't pull it off. Now, people out there saying, "Oh, they ran out of time. Oh, they were waiting for next week." Like, no.
They had time
No,
for
no,
two.
no.
They had time for 2 Natalia segments. What are you talking about?
Don't even get me started on the time.
Yeah.
The TikToking and the TikTokers out there just, ay.
We don't care.
Personally, I would have
Nobody cares
preferred
about
Carmella's dance breaks over the TikTok stuff. But then again,
Yeah,
the dance break stuff was actually fun because R-Truth, Carmella, funny shit.
Yeah.
Oh wait a
That's
minute,
some fun-
guys!
Yeah.
Dance
That was
break.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the
as long
thing.
as they were wrestling, that was cool.
And then Carmella now has this, I don't know what the heck this is supposed to be. This Emelina gimmick or whatever, that she has a camera and she's saying it's all of our faults that she's now like this and whatever. I don't know what the heck we're watching. Like,
She says
yeah.
she's untouchable. At which point, I was instantly reminded of John Cena's old theme. So you think you're untouchable?
Lord, look.
Yeah. Anyways, but back to the subject of Retribution here. I think a big reason why they're not exactly that frightening anymore is because when they first showed up, here's like when they first showed up and they were destroying everything and everyone, it was actually really cool. But the people were shitting on it. The people were shitting on it, saying y'all are like aces and eights or something.
They were ripoffs, all right, but I'm not going to talk about who they're ripping off. But
Dark Order.
That's probably a hint. But
Dark
don't
Order.
talk about it. No, you don't want to talk about it. I ain't talking about it. No.
Okay.
They're ripping off of the morons. You guys want to talk about getting subject. But yeah, the whole thing with Retribution, just when they debuted, I'm not gonna lie, I marked out. Pretty cool segment.
Because we had no idea. We had no idea what the hell was going on, or who they were, or why this was happening.
They
Problem is-
chased off Corey Graves and Michael Cole, and I've never laughed so freaking hard just watching Michael Cole sprint up the freaking ramp. I was busting out laughing so hard. Oh my god! And then just
Shout out.
and You might want to leave. You might want to leave. You know, we all thought it was Xavier Woods. Like, I still think that was Xavier Woods. That was his voice. I don't care what anybody says. That was Xavier Woods. Them surrounding these so-called wrestling fans, quote unquote, aka the freaking fake audience out there.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't exactly call them fake because those who are actually in the wrestling business are, no offense, bigger fans than we are.
That is the freaking truth right there.
Because if they weren't bigger fans than us, they wouldn't be actually trying to be them.
That is true. That is very true.
But anyway, back to what we were saying. Yeah, but then people just were not taking them seriously.
Is that people were calling them jokes, people calling them small. Like, oh, these guys are a bunch of... I've enjoyed them. These guys are a bunch of cruiserweights. These guys are my height. And, like, I could beat that guy of these guys. And, like, it was so just not interesting. Like, I remember, like, we didn't even see them one time. Like, even before they debuted on SmackDown. You know, the lights just going out, them attacking the power thing outside and them throwing freaking bottles or whatever the heck that was.
They were Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, that stuff. That's you getting that vibe? You getting that vibe, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not saying it, but yeah, them just doing all that stuff and them just causing the chaos, and then the whole thing. People are tying this in with the hacker, which mysteriously disappeared, and apparently it's back now. But the whole thing with Retribution, you know, and them being revealed. The one time on SmackDown they appeared, they were all giants, like huge guys.
At that moment, I was like, holy shit! There's more of them.
Exactly. Then they started to talk, and then, you know, we obviously knew who they were behind the mask, and then they finally revealed themselves, and I laughed. I'm like, you could literally tell who these guys were, unless you don't watch NXT. Yeah. You don't watch NXT, you know who these guys are.
However, of course, once we found out, as it turns out, the laughter would only get louder once we found out what their names were. First off, Mia Yim is actually named Reckoning.
That is the stupidest name I've heard in my life for a wrestler.
Dio Madden, former commentator for Raw, is Mace, or coincidentally they named the black guy Mace or Mace Windu.
Black guy's name is Mace. What's wrong with you?
I just laughed at these names, honestly.
Because like Mace, the only thing I was like, black guy named Mace, I was instantly reminded of Mace Windu in Star Wars.
Ha!
And then let's see, Dominic Dijakovic of all people named T-Bar.
When I found out what a T-bar was, I'm like, oh my gosh.
And who's Slapjack?
And then finally, Shane Thorne is Slapjack, which is a type of pancake. I'm like, oh my god, he'd be perfect for New Day.
Oh my god.
All I gotta say is this:
rocks.
Who the heck came up with these names?
It's probably somebody. No. Here's what happened. Here's what I think went down. Someone's 5-year-old child or whatever freaking went over to like the mom and dad or whoever the heck whoever's in creative or whatever. Mommy, can we name the guy T-Bar? Slapjack? The black guy? Well, the black guy's name's Mace, and the other guy's Reckoning. And yeah, put that on pen and paper.
Oh, holy shit! That was actually a good kid voice.
Yeah.
I was highly convinced you were a kid right there.
I pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand these names. Like, what? First of all, Mace. Just, no. Just no. No. You don't do that, WWE.
Not to mention, what the hell is up with the Bane-looking weird thing on T-Bar?
My God.
Yeah, he has like this deep voice, just like,
they got the robotic voices, the voice box or whatever. It's so freaking stupid.
I'm thinking to myself,
and
I'm like, what the hell? It's like, okay, so his name is T-Bar. He looks like Bane. Let's call it the Batman.
Exactly, like, and then you have, like, obviously their leader in Mustafa Ali, who did not get a chance to talk, so whatever.
The reveal of Mustafa Ali as the leader was the only thing that actually gained my interest in Retribution.
Oh, gosh, I freaking lost. I'm like, wow, okay, now it's getting good.
You know, it's kind of hard to believe, like, it's like, Retribution, these guys are pretty intense. It was frightening. Hell, these guys freaking broke into our lounge and assaulted us.
Exactly.
And now we look at them as just a bunch of jokes.
I'm hoping the thing with Mustafa Ali actually gives them some credibility because right now, the only thing getting credible about Retribution is their Twitter accounts because they are funny as heck on Twitter. They buried Chris Jericho for God's sakes. Freaking T-Bar, shout out to T-Bar. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll be honest. If he was as awesome as he is on Twitter, then maybe he'd be a bigger star right now on the roster.
I don't like the thing is for me, like the backstories of these guys, like how they got the Retribution, like the system was against us. I'm sorry to correct you here, Mr. T-Bar, but didn't you get choked out a few months ago by Karrion Kross?
Yeah.
It's
like Mace, you got attacked by Brock Lesnar, and you were basically forgotten of. So I can understand why you're here.
Brock Lesnar F5'd you so hard they sent you to Retribution.
It's like I can understand his reason for being here. We've all pretty much forgotten about him after that Lesnar attack. Okay, I can see that part. Okay, that's fine. It's like Reckoning, Mia Yim. What the hell? Yeah. You were doing great.
Yeah, why would they? Mia Yim was so good in NXT, and then they do this.
Yeah, and they turn heel. Like, what is that? And then Raquel Gonzalez is in this thing. What's her backstory?
Actually, no. It's actually Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
And she's actually no longer in it.
Yeah, I heard about that. She's no longer a part of it.
It's like, what's your story? Well, why are you here? And you, Slapjack or whatever your name is, I don't even know who the hell you are, but you're probably just
Slapjack's best. Like, wasn't he lit? He was about to be recruited by MVP a few months ago with the other guy, whatever. What was that dude's name? He was teaming up with Tino Sabatelli. Was it Tino Sabatelli? No, I don't freaking remember. But the backstory is just freaking weird. Like, and like it didn't make any sense. Like, T-Bar, like, bro, what are you complaining about?
I'll be honest, like Slapjack or Shane Thorne. I guess maybe he was just upset because things didn't go well for him after TM6-1 stopped doing things.
Yes. Reckoning has nothing to complain about. And T-Bar, you certainly have nothing to complain about. Your best friend. Well, I guess not your best friend anymore because apparently during the chokeout you were brainwashed. I guess. And did Ali brainwash them? Like, what's the backstory?
Well, I think we're about to find out. So hopefully this upcoming Monday Night on Raw, we're gonna hear what we were supposed to hear last Monday.
But yeah, Ali being revealed as the leader, that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I marked out.
And I'll be perfectly honest as well. Like, I don't exactly like the idea here that I was open to this idea before about the whole WWE versus Retribution Survivor Series thing, but from the way things are looking, it's not even worth it anymore.
It's a joke at this point, unless they make them a legit, and I mean a legitimate threat. These guys are not a threat. These guys are in just because y'all shut off the lights and walk around the ring in darkness and attack people, and your freaking manager or your leader, I love Ali, but your leader is literally shorter than you. I'm not gonna lie, it was so funny. Like him just standing next to Mace and T-Bar, and he's like, and with the deep voice, his voice changed, and I got so scared. I'm like, he's like, get him. I'm like, what the heck happened to his voice? Oh my God, just like, I'm not trying to crap all of it. I really am trying not to crap on all of this because I'm interested. But I don't know. Like, as Christian said, if this happens at Survivor Series, that's the rumored plan right now is Team WWE and Retribution. I am getting Nexus vibes if that's the case. I hope it goes well. That's all I gotta say.
I just hope they know what they're doing here. That's all we can think about right now is we hope we can do. But from now, we're just going to move on in the draft. But the only thing we didn't talk about, of course, like Alexa Bliss drafted Raw because of the Fiend. I saw that coming, and I like it.
Not surprised by that. I mean, the whole thing with Alexa Bliss finally changing her character. I'm enjoying. All she needs now is face paint or a mask, and we'll be complete. Because I'm loving this. What do you think, Ryan?
For who? For which one?
The whole thing with Alexa Bliss and the Fiend.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I think it's awesome. Yeah, like she gives me like Harley Quinn vibes pretty much, and yeah, like I said, who knows what's gonna go where with this, but I think it's just gonna turn out really good. So, yeah.
Hey Ryan,
Sure.
Is the Fiend basically Joker?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you got like pretty much a Joker Harley Quinn vibe, pretty much.
Yeah, the Joker's more sick than the Fiend, and that's a fact.
That is
Everybody
true.
says.
Yes.
The Joker's way more sick than the Fiend. And I'm talking about Heath Ledger Joker. That's what I'm talking about.
Joaquin Phoenix Joker was also
Oh,
pretty
God.
frightening.
Yeah.
God,
Joaquin
damn.
Phoenix did so dang good.
He deserved that
Oh.
Oscar, right?
Crap. Oh, definitely. That movie scarred me. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
They brought
That's
mental
the-
health into the mix.
what's up?
Because, mental health, that stuff always gets me.
Yeah. Those scenes just screwed me up afterwards. Like, it's a really important movie. It really is. If you really think deep down, that is a really important movie for some people. Just don't go out there and do what Joker does.
Yeah.
Please,
If you haven't seen the movie yet, please do. It's really good.
please go out and see Joker. It is so good.
Okay, we're moving on to round 4 of night 2 of the draft here, and this is where things get interesting again. Only 2 people were actually remaining on their brands, and both are SmackDown. First one was Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, remained on SmackDown, which is good because the U.S. title is already on Raw.
Christian, but Christian, he was always the Intercontinental Champion.
And at that point, I'm like, I just said he was the Intercontinental Champion. That's why I would tell them. I was like, I just said he was the Intercontinental Champion.
Exactly.
He is the Intercontinental Champion right now. But the only thing that matters, he's staying on SmackDown because, well, we need the Intercontinental title on SmackDown to keep the U.S. title on Raw and keep the balance in place. And the team, of course, that remains on SmackDown, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinzaro, my boys.
Yep. Let's see. As for the new ones, this is interesting. Lacey Evans drafted from SmackDown back to Raw.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
I don't. And she's
Sheamus drafted from SmackDown to Raw. That one was surprising.
thank God.
I like
Jeff Hardy.
I like the idea that maybe Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus could be a thing.
Oh yes,
That is money.
Oh, that is money. I don't know why, but you could do that at like either a Royal Rumble. Or you could actually do that maybe at a SummerSlam or WrestleMania. Yes, I said it. WrestleMania. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I said it.
And of course,
That'd be cool.
this is the back one. This is the really good one here. Drafted from SmackDown to Raw. Welcome back, Elias.
Yeah, that was so funny. He was just standing
I was like, bro, what the heck?
he just came out and just smacked
I
Jeff.
know, it was like out of nowhere he hits him with the guitar. I'm like, what the heck?
I'm like, where'd you come from? It was so funny. He just walks away.
But
And I
it's
like how
good.
they continue the storyline with Jeff Hardy running him over, even though Jeff Hardy was drunk at the time. I mean, Jeff Hardy didn't even do it, but Jeff didn't even do it. But that story was just weird.
I actually like that they're actually doing a continuation of it. So it makes sense that that's why Elias attacked Jeff.
I like how he's heel. It's just out of nowhere he's heel. Come on, you ain't gonna turn Jeff Hardy heel in the WWE again. It's happened before, but you ain't gonna do it again. This
In my
ain't
opinion-
today.
Heel Elias was always better, especially when he was doing his songs.
It's too bad
Yeah.
there's not like a live crowd yet to feed off the heat. Like I remember forgetting what happened with him and Kevin Owens. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's like having a
the
basketball
reaction
team
they
in
got.
Seattle.
That oh my god, like the
That
reaction
was
just
crazy.
they were booing for a solid 15 minutes. I'm like, oh my god, guys, jeez. I'm
Yep.
like, get stung back, man. Just
So-
don't mess with their basketball team. Jeez.
Yeah. So I would say it was cool to see Elias back, and I really think that he's a guy that could evolve even if without winning titles.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is good in the ring, and at the same time, he's great on the mic.
He's a good singing voice. Holy crap.
I
Yep.
can't
Very
wait
good.
for his album.
Yeah, I heard he's got an
Oh,
album
yeah.
coming out. I can't wait. I'm going to listen to it.
I'm saying.
Are y'all going to listen to the new AC/DC album, too?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I love that band. What is the music today? What the heck?
I don't know, but I like it. I think with everybody being in quarantine because of the pandemic, they got to do something to pass the time.
With music and TikToks and Instagrams and YouTubes and Twitter and
Podcasts.
Other things. And what?
And podcasts. What are we doing?
Podcasts.
Yep.
And podcasts. What are we doing with our lives?
I don't know.
We're nobody.
I don't know what we're doing with our lives, but I like it.
Yeah, I love my life right now. We're just a bunch of freaking gentlemen on the internet with nothing to do in life. We're a bunch of so-called losers. We take that as a compliment. So, we're here to entertain you people. That's what we're doing. That's what we're freaking doing, people. We're here to entertain y'all.
All right. Time is really passing by, so I'm gonna quickly run through it. Heel Balor, what was your thoughts on the new draft picks? Well, you said you don't care about Lacey Evans on Raw, and
no, there's really nothing for me with Lacey Evans, man. You tried. You really tried. You turned her babyface in my hometown of all places. Still a big F you to this company. And that didn't do anything with her.
Sheamus, on the other hand?
And then there's Sheamus, who, I don't know. I think Sheamus could do well in the U.S. title picture. I wouldn't mind that.
Should they bring back his original theme?
What's that?
Should they bring back his original theme? It's a shame that they lost their heads.
Yes, they should. They definitely did bring back that song. Like, he's got the old look back. Like, Jeff Hardy needs to bring back his theme, but we have to wait until fans come back.
I can understand that, honestly. Who gets a bigger reaction than this? The song is exciting with the audience. Okay.
Okay, huge pop.
And of course, Elias to Raw. Do you like that idea?
I'm happy for him. It's pretty cool. I missed him. Not gonna lie.
All right, Ryan, your thoughts on Lacey Evans to Raw?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think she's really good. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, it's just like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I understand then. What about Sheamus?
Sheamus, the same way. I mean, hopefully, who knows? Like, I would really love to see Sheamus and Drew McIntyre kind of feud. If they ever do get the chance for the WWE Championship, that would be really kind of a cool little feud right there. I would love to see that.
And of course, Elias.
Elias, oh man, I'm excited. Elias is back, so hopefully we'll see more concerts. Oh wait, no fans though, which is sad, but still though, it'll be good.
Yep,
I'm glad you're back.
All right, folks, we are going to move on to round 5. We're almost done with this, but take a look at this right here. This is interesting. Remaining on Raw, first off, we have the 24/7 champion, R-Truth. Quick, get a referee!
Exactly.
That stuff is still funny.
It is.
Truth is gold. He always will be. Let's take a look. Nikki Cross moved from SmackDown to Raw. So yeah, Nikki Cross has been moved to Raw, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode moved from Raw to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also interesting. Apollo Crews moved from Raw to SmackDown. So he's definitely not with Ricochet anymore.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. A free agent. Dabba-Kato, how the hell do you say it? Dabba-Kato?
Dabba-Tato.
Hot potato?
I'm gonna say potato. Dabba-Tabu, no. Dabba-Tago.
WWE. Dabbing on my face.
Dabba-Dabba-Doo.
Dabba-Dabba-Doo. Okay, how do you say the last word? Is it Kato? What is it again?
Dabba-Kato.
Dabba-Kato. That's it. Dabba-Kato. That's it. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. But I will say...
what the heck kind of a name is Dabba-Kato?
Well, whatever it is, it could actually work out because this is the guy that made Braun Strowman look short.
I know, right?
Dabba-Kato, I'll be honest, I've never seen him before, but he looks very familiar. I look like I've seen him somewhere, but I just...
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie, like, okay, this guy, if y'all have ever played WWE Battlegrounds, he reminds me so much of Bolo Reynolds.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but just because of that, the attire, like it kind of like gives me Bolo Reynolds vibes, but I don't know.
Yeah. Do you guys? Yeah, Willie. Do you? Here's the thing. Have you seen this guy before? Because I'll be honest, I'm just trying my best to remember so much. Like Dabba-Kato, I've never seen him aside from Raw Underground, but he looks so freaking familiar.
Hang on. I'm looking at pictures right now. No, I have never seen this guy.
Unless we've seen him like on like NXT or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Wait. We have seen this guy. He was in the Battle Royal last year for what was it? Super Showdown? Crown Jewel? Which one was it? The one over in Saudi Arabia. He was the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's been a long time since I saw. It's a long time since I saw that one,
yeah.
But
yeah, I think he was in the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Look at it. Hang on.
Well, either way, like I'm just gonna say, like I don't know who this guy is, but after seeing what he does on Raw Underground, I'm actually curious to see how he's gonna do as a Raw wrestler now. Because he says he's labeled as a free agent moving to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Shane McMahon has a lot of high praise for this guy, so.
Exactly. He is a monster. Holy crap.
All right, well.
Hey.
Let's take a look. While you guys are searching, I was going to quickly ask, Willie, your thoughts on Nikki crossover to Raw?
It is what it is. I mean, I don't really expect humongous things to come from her, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess she's just a hand. She's just a hand, to steal more Raw to steal more women from SmackDown. I guess I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. I guess WWE thought, everyone's so invested in this Bayley Sasha Banks thing. We don't need the rest of the women on SmackDown.
Although now that you think about, now that you put it that way, that kind of does make a little sense.
Yeah, it really makes sense now because WWE, like I said, WWE probably thought, let's just move everyone over to Raw since nobody's really cared about any of those people. We'll just use Bayley and Sasha on SmackDown because we're probably going to win this stuff till WrestleMania. So there's no reason to have any more women on SmackDown. That's stupid.
All right,
that's stupid.
I'm gonna. Yeah, let's see. What about Ziggler and Rude moving to SmackDown?
Rude, don't care about him. He's been he's been stripped of his just gloriousness, and it's disgusting. And I hate it. I don't like it. Ziggler, you're a nobody. Great wrestler. You're a nobody. Please go somewhere else.
Okay.
I think the only Bobby Roode could do is probably, maybe get out of your contract and go back to Impact Wrestling. I mean, go somewhere you're actually relevant because I just don't care about him right now on the roster.
Okay, then how about NXT? Dude.
Not even NXT, in my opinion, would do that well with him. I'm talking about when Bobby Roode debuted in 2016, man, I really enjoyed it. Well, okay, WWE-wise, I'm going back to Impact Wrestling. Bobby Roode and Impact Wrestling, the it factor. That was my Bobby Roode. That Bobby Roode, in my opinion, was way better than what we got in NXT. I'm not saying the Glorious character was terrible. I loved it. But the it factor, it hit it right where it hurts. And that gimmick was just everything. I loved that gimmick. The Glorious character, it kind of had those vibes, but it was more like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I prefer Roode in TNA. That's just me.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm a huge Bobby Roode fan. This just sucks to see him like this, I thought he'd be released. I'm not going to lie. All those months ago with the whole people being released back then, I thought he'd be the ones released. I'm surprised he wasn't, but, it is what it is. Like I said, Ziggler, if I can about to say this, if anybody needs to go to the other company, quote unquote, maybe it's Dolph Ziggler. All right, go to freaking.
Sorry, I was just running short on time here.
That's all I got, man.
That's okay. What about Apollo Crews moving to SmackDown?
Out of that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let me guess, Ryan, you got more or less the same thoughts on the rest of them?
Oh, yeah.
Understandable. Final round, then, as...
Not a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final round here. Not really much to say about this. There's only one new member from Raw to SmackDown, and that's Aleister Black.
Yay.
Well, we'll see how things work out for them. From what he said, his new music and entrance stuff is actually not completed.
That's good. People are complaining about it.
Yeah.
So
The other members of the final rounds, this is not really worth much of anything. Titus O'Neil drafted to Raw from catering.
Yeah.
Peyton Royce drafted to staying on Raw.
Not surprised by that.
Akira Tozawa staying on Raw, poor truth.
Yep.
And Carmella remaining on SmackDown, who we have not yet seen, but maybe we could see her this upcoming SmackDown. So
I hope I'm a little bit interested in this character she's got going for her.
Yeah.
So.
Like, folks, what we do is we give chances. We let things play out for a bit.
Sometimes. I mean,
sometimes.
we're chancing.
There's not.
Yeah, that's what it is.
As for the others, there's not really much to say. Titus O'Neil, Peyton Royce, Akira Tozawa. We ain't gonna talk for 20 minutes about these guys.
No reason.
Titus O'Neil's
no reason.
only known for the World Slide.
Oh my gosh, it still gets me this day. It's just a funny thing.
If we were doing a try not to laugh challenge, I guarantee we'd be doing fine. And then that clip pops up and we instantly lose.
No, I lost my very first try not to laugh challenge, and I'm easily amused. So,
Losers Lounge should definitely collaborate in something like that.
We should. We're always up for collaborations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I could actually, I could get some try not to laugh videos sent into us by the fans or something, make a compilation, react to it, send it to you guys so you guys can do the same thing, and it's going to just cut to our reactions to each one.
Exactly.
That
could
be
do
fun.
that.
All right, focus to the final supplemental picks here. Let's see, staying on Raw is Riddick Moss and Lana. Who Lana, by the way, won a battle royal to become #1 contender to the Raw Women's title. Coincidentally, after eliminating the one person who said she was done with her, Natalya.
Her TikToker buddy. Yay. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Speaking of Natalya, she's been moved to SmackDown.
Yeah, there's your farewell present. Goodbye. Your tag team partner just dumping you over the edge. Bye.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's kind of a good thing we're getting more on SmackDown, which is good, especially if, as long as we get like a balance of wrestlers, of men and women on each side, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Something else. What I'm hoping is that WWE doesn't do now is that they, once again, going back to what I said, so they don't put all the focus on Sasha and Bayley women wise, because that's kind of their main. I know it's their main feud going on. Like there's more people out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
and also moving to SmackDown, the Riot Squad.
Who? I'm sorry. Who? I'm kidding.
Exactly. And NXT actually had a call up in some ways. Arturo Ruiz moved to Raw.
Who?
Exactly. Oh man,
I have never heard that name. Who?
Let's see. Arturo Ruiz made an appearance. Okay. He made an appearance on an episode of NXT and was beat by Matt Riddle. That's it. And then he appeared on Raw Underground once and lost. Actually, wait, no, he defeated Mikey Spandex. Mikey Spandex.
Mikey Spandex.
That sounds like something from Impractical Jokers.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Maybe that's where
from?
the Retribution names are coming from.
See, there you go. There's the freaking proof.
Impractical Jokers. Slapjack. T-Bar.
If they name a wrestler Syrup, I swear to God, if they name a wrestler Syrup and have him team up with Slapjack, oh my God.
If his name is Maple Syrup, I'm going to quickly ask, is he Canadian? And then I'm going to say, fuck you, you freaking stereotypical asshole.
He's gonna have the freaking Canadian accent too. Just like a freaking...
Wow. Whatever the hell that was. However, folks, let's quickly talk about the free agents here. There are some free agents who, as of this recording, have actually confirmed their movements, and there are some who have yet to confirm their movements. But here's the good thing. Retaliation has... Retaliation, or Mercedes Martinez. You'll be glad to hear she's been drafted back to NXT, and she's returning to Mercedes Martinez.
Thank you. That's a good thing. Retaliation. What is going on, WWE?
Yeah.
Retaliation.
A free agent from SmackDown staying on SmackDown, Shorty G.
Shorty G. Yay.
Nobody cared. Why is he still even here? Look, here's the thing. If Jason Jordan is not capable of wrestling anymore, might as well just let Shorty G go as well. But if Jason Jordan can wrestle, put Shorty G back as Chad Gable and reunite American Alpha.
Exactly. Have the Fiend get a hold of Shorty G, please, for his sake.
Well, unfortunately, Shorty G's on SmackDown, the Fiend's on Raw.
Yeah, I know. Sucks. Oh, well.
But also, here's the thing. Grand Metalik and Lindsay Dorado from Lucha House Party have been drafted from SmackDown to Raw, so they're not with Kalisto anymore.
Finally, Kalisto can stop his whining, which there's not going to be a conclusion for that.
Billy Kay has been moved to SmackDown.
Yay.
Eric of the Viking Raiders is staying on Raw. We have yet not heard from Ivar, but I guarantee he's going to also stay on Raw. They're both out with injuries.
Yep.
Tamina is staying on SmackDown, and Zelina Vega going to SmackDown. Well, she's definitely not going to be hanging around the Andrade and Angel Garza anymore.
Yeah.
And speaking of Andrade, he's also a free agent that has remained undrafted. And at the time of this recording, folks, we have not heard where he's going. So,
True.
Same thing with the likes of Bo Dallas. Wait, he's still signed? And wait a second, wasn't he supposed to be that mysterious person or something? Wait, no.
Oh my gosh.
Ivar the Viking Raiders is out with a neck injury, so I guarantee, though, he's going to stay on Raw with Eric. Jimmy Uso, that's the big question. He's out with a knee injury, yes. However,
to be honest with Jimmy.
I like the whole thing going on with Roman and Jay, but don't split the Usos. As a matter of fact, when Jimmy comes back, have them team with Roman.
Please, that's the thing we need.
We'll have a stable. We'll call it the Bloodline.
Yes.
I mean, technically, they kind of did have that back in 2016 with AJ Styles, but, we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw, he's out with a knee injury, but likely staying on Raw. I don't know where he's going. Actually, Jinder Mahal, he should stay on Raw and challenge Drew McIntyre.
Nope. Nobody wants that.
Let's see. Mickie James is one of the very few people who's not injured, but was remaining undrafted.
She's gonna pull a Heath Slater.
Or maybe she's gonna join Retribution.
Would she have to join Retribution? Apparently, to join Retribution, you would have to have some big gripe with this company. So, if that's the case, then
maybe
Drew Gulak should join Retribution.
Okay.
Imagine.
And of course, this guy was not even included in either of the draft pools, nor is this guy injured. Mojo Rawley.
I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, the only good thing this guy came from was the Hype Bros.
I'm sorry, who?
Also, don't forget about the Forgotten Sons here. Actually, we did forget them.
I'm sorry, who? Who?
But my personal opinion regarding the Forgotten Sons, I understand about Jackson Riker's tweet support for President Donald Trump during the Black Lives Matter movement and George Floyd protests. I understand. That's a little controversial and not to mention really kind of fucked up. However, that doesn't mean that Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake should also suffer.
That's the thing. Like, they put blame on poor put guy's a freaking douchebag. I mean, I know he has his own opinions, but just don't say stuff like that on Twitter. Don't take the anger out on the other two. Take the anger out on the guy who said it. Don't take the anger out on his tag team partners. They condemn what he said.
Other names that I'm surprised are even Raw or SmackDown wrestlers, Kane and Big Show. And I'm like, I would consider them just free agent legends now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really consider them like branded wrestlers. Becky Lynch, yes, I understand. But she ain't coming back anytime soon, so. She'll be, if she comes back, she does. But if she doesn't, it's okay. But the one thing that surprised me is Maryse is under that category of a free agent. I'm like, wait, what?
Maryse. Yeah, I don't think she'll be back as a wrestler for a while, at least.
I don't think she'll ever be back as a wrestler, honestly. What? She and Miz have 2 kids now.
She's going to be a full-time mom.
Yeah. And that's honestly okay.
She's very full-time mom.
And speaking of which, where's Ronda Rousey on this list, if that's the case?
Oh, you want to know about Ronda Rousey? I got a freaking notification this morning saying Ronda apparently won't be back because there's nothing for her.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good point. Let's face it. Good matches, Raw Women's title, main event of WrestleMania. You're right. What else does she need?
The Hall of Fame, and that's only it. The shortest WWE career ever. No, literally, that is the shortest WWE career ever.
Actually, that would go to Sting.
Sting.
Debuted in 2014, retired in 2015, less than a year later, and then got inducted in the Hall of Fame a few months later. So, yeah, that was the shortest career.
Yeah. It sucks. Base come back and base the Undertaker. Whatever.
Not a chance in hell.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that was our review of the draft, and I'll be honest, scale 1 to 10, Willie, what would you rate this draft?
I would give probably a 5. I wasn't really excited. I mean, there were some changes, but not the biggest ones I could have seen, in my opinion. They could have done a whole lot better. I still think the 2016 draft just eclipses like what we've seen over these past few years. That's my favorite draft of all time, probably.
Without a doubt.
Well, I would say, but at least recently.
All right, and Ryan, what would you, on scale 1 to 10, how would you rate this draft?
I'd give it probably a 6, maybe a 6.5.
All right. As for me, I will also give it a 6.
All right, not bad.
Like, of course, things were, there's some ups, some downs, and quite a number of downs. But you know what? I'm always open to change and new opportunities, and there's going to be some new opportunities here and there. And here's the thing, folks. No matter what happens, we're always going to be wrestling fans for life, and y'all can't change that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, as always, thank you for tuning in to the fastest rising podcast in the YouTube wrestling community.
Boom. Yeah.
And of course, Hugh Balor, you know what to do. Actually, before you end this, I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Next week, we will be here to discuss and predict the events of Hell in a Cell, where we will be talking about 3 Hell in a Cell matches. And all 3 of them we're excited for.
All 3 Hell in a Cell matches. All right, this is probably going to be the most funnest Hell in a Cell pay-per-views, at least.
Well, here's the thing. I'll be honest, like, people will be like, oh my god, you guys are still excited for Hell in a Cell after what happened last year? I'm like,
dude,
yeah.
Look at the card. Just look at the freaking card, and you'll understand where we're coming from. The card is stacked.
Yeah.
Stacked.
You'll hear more.
We have so much you deserve.
Yeah, hopefully we'll hear more matches that will take place as time goes on.
Exactly, because people just, I think people are just so distasteful about what happened last year. They're worried about it's going to happen the same thing this year.
Well, it did happen in 2018 as well, a no contest thing.
Exactly. People don't know what they're talking about. Just freaking get over it at this point. What's done is done. You can't change it.
It's the past, and the Fiend is doing fine.
I want to change up one more thing before we get out of here. I guess I'll bump my rating up to 6 just because the Fiend's on Raw. That's a new face that I think will do good on Monday Night Raw for the brand. And I think he'll do good. Really no reason to be, to be a little bit. I think the reason I just gave it I think the only reason I was thinking about giving it a 5 was just because there wasn't that many surprises. Now, if I can't remember saying this, I'm an NXT fanboy. if NXT was involved with this, I'd probably bump it to like a 10. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a 5 or 6, just because the Fiend was on is being drafted to Raw. That's a big deal right there. That's a very big deal. But anyways, we haven't done the outro yet.
Oh my God.
We are the Losers. This is our lounge. We are without a doubt the fastest rising podcast in the YWC, and nobody can stop us or top us.
Ha! Can't argue with that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys next time.